Hi guys, welcome back to day 5 of solving the code questions with me. Today it's going to be two questions most probably because the first question is very easy. So I'll make sure that I keep my videos less than 15 minutes. And if at all we are done with the first question in within 7 minutes, then we can solve the second question as well. So let's get started. I'll share my screen. Um, so yeah, as you can see, I've already solved this, but I'll still try to do it again with you guys. So id is the primary key, which has the column with unique values. Okay, by this time, you know what primary key is and what a column with unique value means. Each row of this table contains the score of a game, and score is a floating point value with two decimal places. All right, so okay, self-explanatory. Write a solution to find the rank of the scores. The ranking should be calculated according to the following rules. So we have three set of rules here. Let's make sense from every point that we have. So the score should be ranked from highest to lowest. Very, very easy. So first point says, okay, let's do it in Word. So the first point says use descending, order by descending. Very easy. Then we have if there is a tie between two scores, both should have the same ranking. So for the second, what does this mean from coding standpoint? It's nothing but if there is two tie between two scores, both should have the same ranking. So this is where row number we have to eliminate. So you have to okay, let's get back to this after a point. And the third problem is after a tie. After a trie, the next ranking number should be the next consecutive integer value. In other words, there should be no holes between lines. Okay. So this is where, oh, okay, let's see the three main window functions that we can think of when this comes to our mind. So row number is the first function that we can think of. Second is the rank, as we have discussed in the previous video. And third is the dense rank. These are highly important videos from solving LeetCode questions, which which are around SQL. And return the result table order by stored in the descending order. And this is how it should look like. The scores and corresponding to that, we should have a rank associated with it. Here you can see one and one, there's a tie between them. So we are not skipping two here. We are also having two in the next rank. Okay. So that's pretty much it. So let's look at how row number will work like here. So when we do an order by descending, that's what we are going to do in all three of them. This is what we'll have. Okay. This is the score table that will column that we'll be having. So in case of row number, this is how it will be defined. For every row, every new row gets a new row number, new sequence number. So this is how it will look like exactly. But this is not what we want, right? So in case of a tie, if there is a tie between two stores, both should have the same ranking. Okay, so here, as you can see in the row number, we are getting different ranks. So we have to eliminate uh, row number, considering row number as a function here. Okay, oh, sorry. So that leaves us with dense rank and rank. So if you see the third condition, that is after a tie, the next ranking number should be next consecutive integer value. In other words, there should be no holes between them. So pretty easy. This is what dense rank does. So this is what row number does. Rank, what rank will do is it'll give the same rank to the same score, but it will skip the second rank because there's a repetition of one number, right? One rank. So we have to directly jump into third. And if there is a tie again between four and four, so five will be skipped and we'll have six. This is how rank will work. Okay. But again, if we don't want this, we need to make sure there are no holes between ranks. So that actually indicates that we need to use dense rank. Pretty straightforward question if you know the basics of all three functions. So this is something that we need to look after. So the third rank, as in the second value of distinct score, will be termed as 2. Third will be 3, and it will be 4 here. That's pretty much it, I feel. Does the job, right? This is exactly what we want, right? So 1 1 2 3 3 4, 1 1 2 3 3 4. That's something that we want. So let's stick to the same. We've already now by this point we already know how to write select statements, right? And also we solved one of the delete questions as well. So we are proficient with using basic select statements, right? So first column is the score, all right. The second is the rank. From the table is scores. Let's have it here. And okay, select. Okay, rank function we need to define. Wow. Dense rank. This is the syntax of using a window function that is rank over. We don't need any partition by because there's no partition by. We have to consider the whole score table. So we just do order by score descending as rank. All right, let's try running this. Pretty straightforward. MySQL, we have an error in the SQL syntax at the manual. Score dense rank over order by. I don't think so. There's a problem here. It's a pretty easy sum. Let's check what is the error here. The most probable is the alias. Rank is reserved as keyword. Okay, let's try to give it as RK. Let's see if it runs. If it does, then we'll just use a CTA and then come up with a different answer. So, oh, okay, it gives an answer, but the problem is we are writing it as a rank here. Okay. Wow, what is this issue here? So we can see the issue is we cannot use rank again because we are using rank here, right? Because it's a part of a function, something like that. So that's the built-in function that it gets confused as. See, this is what they're suggesting. I don't know, I've never come across such problem. So what we'll do basically is obviously in the output of LeetCode, it should be very much uh, consistent with the output of this sample output. So let's do one thing. Let's stick to using CDEs with tab as now that we have the scores here, we'll just do select score, comma, RKS rank. That's how we rename your from tab. What's the problem here? You have anything? I don't know what is the problem here. What's the problem here? Ah, it's again this. So let's try to use the same code in a different engine. Let's try running this and maybe, oh, I don't want this. Okay, MS SQL as Archino. We'll have this as rank. Let's see if this runs here. Interesting. So funny. Wow. All test cases passed. Nice. So yes, so something that we need to think about. If there is problem like these, when you know your code is never wrong, when your code is not wrong, then you have to go behind Gemini and ask that, oh, okay, this could be a problem possibly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a medium level question. I don't know why, but yeah, you need to know what is the basic formula, as in about the basic definition of using row number, rank, and rank. So you understand. Let's solve the second question now. In SQL, ID is the primary key, ID is the auto increment column starting from 1. Okay, so we need to know that there is an ID column which starts from 1, ends up to the number of rows that we have. Okay, there's no hole in between. Find all the numbers that appear at least thrice, 3 times consecutively. Return the result in an order. The result format is in the following example. Okay, so here you can see 1, 1, 1 is repeated. Okay, so we need to just return 1 as this is the column name. Okay, As you can see, 2 is repeated thrice, but it is not consecutive in nature. So we have to only consider the columns that are consecutive. So, okay, let's consider this. I'll show you in the Word file how to do. So this is the first table, that is logs. So how we have to deal this is we need to create a self-join here. Okay. So there will be three tables. I'll explain you why. This is logs 2. This is logs 3. So what we need to do is we need to compare this one with this one because it's the next considered term, right? And this one, that again this now. That's why I have created two self joins. That's how we compare three relationships, right? First one is one with two, right? And the second one is one with three because we need to check the consecutive terms, right? So if there is one, 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 so this will satisfy the condition and return a true value. Okay. This is how we'll go about it. So, and we need to make sure that we make a join condition and check this number. Num1 equals to num2, as in logs2 dot num and logs3 dot num here. Okay. So we'll make a join on ID. Okay, one joins with two, so we need to do plus one, and one joins with three. We'll do plus two. That's the basic idea of this problem. Let's get started with it. We need to return just one column. That is select what is the name of this? It's num as. Be very consistent with the naming. Consecutive nums from let's do logs as L1. Okay. Let's do inner join because it doesn't matter if you do inner join, left join, right join because it's a self join. So we need to make sure that for the query to run faster, we always use a inner join. Okay. And do a inner join with logs as L2 on L1 dot ID. Okay. L1. Okay. Let's name this as L1. So L1 dot ID matches with L2 dot ID, but plus one. Okay. Equals to L2 dot ID plus one. And then we need to also compare the values, right? These two values must be same. That's only when we return the nums value, right? So if this value is equals to this value, that's when we do return the value. So usually we do a join on just one column, but we are adding one more condition that only join if the L1 dot num equals to L1 dot num equals to L2 dot num. Okay, here we are not writing plus one because we are already joining based on one and 2. This is what we have joining right now, right? This is the column, two columns. So we don't need to write plus one here because we're already accessing the num respect to num column with respect to ID number 2. Okay, this is the only catch that we have here. Now we'll do same logs as L3 on L1 dot ID equals to L3 dot ID plus 2 as discussed, and again L1 dot num equals to L3 dot num. What is happening here is now we are comparing the first one with the third one. So that's how we'll go. The first is 1 and plus 2 must be 3. That's how we do a join and then we compare the same number with what we did here. Let's just run this. Select num as considered nums. Oh, okay. We need to give value. It's ambiguous because we have not mentioned where to take this nums from. Accepted. Okay, perfect. Oh, wrong answer. Wow. So wrong answer. 19 of 23 cases processed. Oh, okay. We have a repetition problem. My output is given 3 and 3 as output, but we need to have just one output as 3 because that's the only number that's repeated in thrice. This would have been a case. Okay. This would have been the input. So what it did here was what it did here was we compared the first three And then when going here, we compared this 3 again. So the output was 3 and 3. But we need to just add one keyword here, that is distinct. That will return only the distinct values. That is 1, 3 will be only repeated once. That's the only catch here. Not very difficult to understand. So yes, accepted. He's 58%, 521. Yeah, that's okay. That's pretty much it for this video. We covered two questions. One was self-join. The other one was a basic part, something that goes around using functions, window functions. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are doing good and stay tuned for the next video. Bye bye.